I cheated, again. Realizing that an open marriage is the best solution for us. How do I convince my spouse? 30s FM. Story 1. Since 1999, we've been together, and we met when we were both in college. We've been married for just over 10 years now. Because I have a job that requires me to work long shifts consulting, I spend about 40% of the year away from home, which makes it very difficult on our marriage. Despite that, I genuinely enjoy what I do, so there's not a thing I'd switch. We came up with a reasonable middle ground, and it has served us well. I cheated on you when we were dating in the past, but we've put that in the past, we've really moved on from it, and in many ways we're stronger because of it. I wouldn't say he has forgotten about the cheating because he does bring it up occasionally, and he does not deny doing it. In the past, I've broached the subject of an open marriage with him, and while he wasn't particularly receptive to the notion, I didn't make an effort to persuade him either way. The current predicament? So, for the past 6 months, I've been working a rotation that keeps me away from my family for a total of 12 hours each day. After the holiday season is over, I'll go back to that rotation, and I'll continue it until April. The procedure is very difficult, but I really enjoy it. However, it has been difficult for me to be away from them. It usually works out so that I am at home for about 5 days out of the month, and while those days are wonderful, the time in between can be challenging. One of the vice presidents at the company where I currently work has been keeping tabs on me for some time now. We hit it off at work, and there's been this fun charge between us, but I've been trying to keep things platonic and not let anything happen between us. To tell the truth, 30 days ago, something happened, and ever since then, the two of us have been having an affair. He has an open marriage himself. Even though the guilt is terrible, it has also been very exciting and thrilling. We have a lot of sexual chemistry between us, and he is a wonderful lover. To further complicate matters, I came into contact with another man only a short while ago. All of this has given me a lot of food for thought regarding our marriage and our commitment to monogamy. I have personal experience with how commonplace cheating is, and as a result, I believe that the model should be revised. Even if you start out with the best of intentions, maintaining this standard is nearly impossible. I am attracted to other men, and I have a feeling that my husband feels the same way. We shouldn't let societal pressure confine us. I have a lot of affection for my husband, but our relationship is suffering because of the distance. In our situation, I believe that having an open marriage is the best option for us. We've built a wonderful family, along with a wonderful life, and a wonderful home, all together. The last thing our children need is to be torn between 2 households and 2 sets of parents while also going through a divorce. That would not be fair to them. There is still a lot of passion between my husband and I, and we both still love one another, so I don't believe that we should get a divorce. With an open marriage, we can both pursue our individual interests without jeopardizing the security we have in one another. I have self-assurance, so I wouldn't have any problems with him going out on his own, and I might even encourage it. I wouldn't be the least bit envious of him, and I'd want him to enjoy himself just as much as I would. Therefore, the problem here is not one of hypocrisy. I will be returning home on Friday, and I will be there for a total of 4 weeks. I would like to bring this subject up to my husband during the holidays, and I would like to argue my side of the argument. I'm just looking for some pointers on how to convince him that this is something that will benefit both of us, and how to do so effectively. I have my reasons, but I'd really appreciate the advice and support of the community on Reddit. I have some guidelines in mind for us, such as staying away from people who share friends or not allowing ourselves to get romantically involved, but I am open to hearing other ideas as well. In addition, I feel terrible about cheating on him, and regardless of that, I'm considering coming clean with him about the whole thing. First, I will observe his reaction to the idea of an open marriage, and then I will decide what course of action to take next. TL, Doctor, while I was away from my husband for work, I had an affair with another man, and now I believe that having an open marriage is the best way forward for us. How can I make my husband see things my way? Story 2. My wife is a cheat and ran away with our child to another state. We uprooted our lives and moved away from San Antonio because she accused me of cheating, destroying our apartment, and ripping my marriage certificate in front of my eyes. She woke me up with the hardest slap she could muster and then began yelling at me after she had kicked me out of the house. No, I was not cheating. The text she mentioned me that she saw while I was asleep was gone. No, I did not delete anything. I was asleep because I needed to work in the early morning, after she had kicked me out of the house. No, I was not cheating. The text she mentioned me that she saw while I was asleep was long story short. I forgive her for acting like that. I took the blame even though I had no idea what was happening. We decided that a new start would be good for us and for our baby. We moved to North Carolina. Time passed and things calmed down significantly. I felt like we had moved on and that it did us good. She then told me 3 months ago that she needed to take our kid back to San Antonio for the rest of the vaccinations. She told me here in North Carolina they didn't accept my baby. I concur. The trip was supposed to last 2 weeks, but it ended up lasting for more than a month and a half instead. I was very excited for their return. She came back on a Monday and came to say hello to me at my job. I noticed that she had changed because when I tried to kiss her, she closed her lips instead of smiling. This was very strange. When Thursday rolled around, I confronted her and asked her why she had written on her Facebook that you lost a queen, treat me better or something to that effect. When she was confronted, she exploded and overreacted, and she told her mother to buy her plane tickets so that she could leave the following day. She needed time to find herself and to heal, she said it. She left on Friday morning without telling me and took my son. I just found out she's cheating on me with a 33-year-old bag of SHD. She's 19. She won't let me see my kid, not even a photo, barely speaks to me and blame it on me for leaving. She doesn't know that I know she's cheating, and she's saying she will come back, not now. I told her it was fine. I support you, just don't take. I'm in a bind, and I don't want to make a fool of myself or confront her, so could you please help me? Redditors' reactions. I think before you start trying to have that conversation, you work out for yourself why you have cheated. Not why you feel the desire to be with others, but why you cheated, rather than talking to your husband about an open relationship first. Redditor 4, Duck you, op. This is not why you have an open marriage. Just based on the fact that you ducked someone else without talking to your significant other first proves this beyond a doubt. Edit, I posted this in anger. I'm sorry, but my point still stands. Open relationships require more trust than a regular one. What you're basically asserting is that both you and your partner commit to stay at least mostly romantically monogamous, but are free to have time with people outside of your relationship. There are many reasons to start an open relationship, and not one of them is because you can't keep your DCK to yourself when the chips are down. In my case, I'm in an open relationship of sorts because we're both somewhere on the spectrum between bistimule and panstimule, and sometimes we can't quite itch the scratch. So we find play partners, both for ourselves and for each other. These pairings are always discussed in advance, before there is anything remotely like genital-to-genital contact. The reason is to maintain this trust, and so that we can approve or veto potential partners. The trust issue isn't just between the two of you. As soon as you add a third, a fourth, you have to both trust them also not to bring an STD into your bedroom. In short, open relationships, polyamory, anything along these lines require way more trust than people like OP are capable of. My best advice is for you to turn yourself into your significant other, plead for mercy, and hope in the future that you learn some self-control. And for duck's sake, stop making people in plural relationships look like it. We have enough of an image problem without people like you. Redditor 7, I think you're incredibly selfish. You've convinced yourself that because cheating is so prevalent it's okay for you to do and therefore that you should be in an open relationship. You've also convinced yourself that your husband is attracted to other women and wants to exercise this attraction, despite any mentioned evidence on his part, and only because you're attracted to other men and apparently can't control yourself. You mentioned that your husband still brings up the cheating. He is clearly still upset about it. What on earth makes you think he would be cool with an open relationship? Whether or not you ask for an open marriage, you need to tell your husband of your infidelity. Even if he okays an open marriage, that does not okay your cheating. You're still being deceptive, and he deserves better than that. Redditor 8. I've floated the idea of an open marriage to him in the past and he wasn't really receptive. You're just trying to create a loophole to validate your cheating. You need to tell him what you've done and let him make his own decisions on how he wants to proceed. Our kids don't need to be shuttled around with 2 homes, 2 step-parents, and go through a divorce. That isn't fair to them. Don't use your kids as an excuse. Your lies and cheating is what has created an unstable home for them. Redditor 9, what are you going to do if he says no? Redditor 10, my so pressured me into an open relationship because he needed it. It scarred me a lot and we very nearly broke up after the dust settled. Then he went to therapy to get to the root of his desire to hook up with other people, and we are better now. Maybe you should try that before you wreck your husband's self-esteem. This is your issue, not his.